evening, teacher. This is my summary. The Road to the Hill. Jamie, on his vacation from university, wanted to visit Melbourne Church. When he arrived to take the wrong direction and found at the end of the road the house of a strange old woman who he asked for help. She handed him a map with the way to the church and invited him to come back for tea. Jamie did not find the church because the map took him to landscape very similar to the one in the photograph he saw at Mary's house. Then he returned to the pub. There the landlord showed him a book with the history of Melbourne. Well, what is the story of Mary, who has suffered greatly from the loss of her son to a rail accident. The next day, he finally visited the church and then decided to return to Mary's house. She was asleep in the patio, so Jamie left photo of him on the beach to comfort Mary's sadness. The music of the forest. John and Larry were on vacation on the Simla Forest Hotel in India. John wanted to hunt a tiger. He went out every day with a gun and come back angry and tired from having seen a single tiger. While Mr. Lal was playing the piano on one night, Larry came over to talk. Mr. Lal took the opportunity to tell him that the forest protects animals and that is the reason that until now he had not been able to hunt a tiger. He also told him that the forest does terrible things to those who try to harm it. That night Larry had a dream that animals from the forest attacked him. Then he decided to stop hunting and asked John to go to see beautiful place in India. The detective. Peter was a young man who gets a job as story detective. He liked to show off his work, although he was not really extraordinary. One day, Peter observed an old man who, looking at the wine shelves, found it strange that he was wearing a heavy-long coat um, on a hot afternoon like that, which made him suspicious. But suddenly a woman crossed in front of him. The strange thing was that he kept a packet of tea in his pocket, saying that he was not going to pay for tea. Peter took her to manager office, but the associate improved that her packet was her. It was a distraction from the woman, so that the old man, who was her grandfather, could steal things, hide them in his pocket, and get out of her without being stopped. Peter and the supermarket were the victims of a ruse that day. The restaurant. Clive Gordon was a widowed man with a 14-year-old daughter. On a hotel by the sea, he decided to turn his hotel into a famous restaurant in order to improve his income in winter. Then he received a call where they tell him that there was going to receive a visit from an inspector for the good restaurant guy. Excited by the news, he rushed his daughter Karen to start with the work in the kitchen. Unfortunately, Clive mistakes the real inspector for a well-dressed man who offered excellent service. While the real inspector was watching the worst attitude of Clive as she heard him yell at the daughter Karen in the kitchen for not hurrying with the menu. By the time she revealed her identity, it was too late, as she had already decided not Patty's name in the restaurant guide.